Hey guys, Chris here from Suburban Geckos. Just getting ready to do another video for you and what looks like it might be kind of a little series for us. The last video we looked at females and how we take care of those. This video is actually going to focus on the males, which are pretty much set up like the females are, just a little bit different. So we'll take a look at that today. Some males that have been with us for years now, and then some that were just growing up from hatching out last season. So hopefully in the next week or so, my plan is to be able to get a hatchling care video out for you guys. I know there's been a couple people that have asked about that. We really wanted to wait until we were actively hatching out babies, so we can actually show you physically setting them up in there straight from the container out of the incubator. So now that we have babies, like I said, in the next week or so, hopefully we can get that video up online for you guys too. In the meantime, if you have any questions, by all means, comment below. And I really want to say thanks for the comments so far and the encouragement on the last video. I'm super excited that you guys are enjoying it and getting something out of it. So thanks again. And just a minute, we'll go over to the table and take a look at some of the males. So let's go take a look. Hey guys, so here we go. Gonna take a look at some males here. Just like last time, disclaimer, these have not been cleaned in a week, so I'm sure they're nice and filthy, but we'll take care of that here shortly. So males, feeding does not change whatsoever. Same mealworms, same supplementation, all that good stuff. The biggest difference with males is that I actually don't use Humid Hides with the males, and I'll show you what I do here in just a second. And I don't know that there's any real reason why I don't. I mean, there's not a problem with using Humid Hides with males. I just got into the habit of doing this a long time ago. Just select a size paper towel, spray it, just like we did with the females as far as the water for them to drink. Spray the sides, food goes on top. And we take a look at this guy. It is just awesome. So I don't know what kind of view you guys are getting, but it's a white and yellow Max Snow Raptor. This is a male that picked up a couple of years ago and started breeding him last year, and he's been paired up a few times this year, but he is absolutely one of my favorites for sure. So very cool. Let him do his thing. And again, once we start getting into these a little bit, I'll kind of cut through some of the cleaning and just let you guys take a look at geckos instead of sitting here watching me clean the whole time. So this guy, let's clean him up real quick here. So I should say as well, not using the Humid Hides for the males, hopefully you guys can see this. These are these Gen Pack meat packing trays. I use different ones for different things. Now, I used to have all different kinds of sizes, and now I have it down to just 3 sizes actually. So this is one of the larger ones. This is the 4D. I'll try and gather all these links for you guys and put these in the description if it's something that you do end up wanting to use. I know in the beginning, when I was getting started and watching other videos, people would talk about these things, but they'd never provide the links. So I spent hours and hours and hours trying to hunt down the right size, and I would order, a lot of times you got to buy these in bulk, so I would order tons of the wrong size. I probably still have them sitting in the storage room. So I'll try and get some links on there for you guys. This guy is a white and yellow G project. Just a little male that we produced last year that we ended up holding back. Haven't paired him up yet, but hope to. So yeah, going back to the hide, all I do is use these Gen Pack trays, and when they get, every time the gecko, poops on them or something, you don't have to replace it with a new one. These things usually come in, I think, stacks of like 50 or 100 or, who knows, I've got tons of these things laying around. But just cut a door out and that's that. When it gets too dirty for you, then replace it. They're pretty cheap. So again, same thing like we talked about with the females last time. If the tub's kind of gritty, or there's like calcium dust and the Vionate all over the place, then I'll wipe it out, and that's just your own judgment. You don't have to clean these things completely every single time. But again, personal preference. So this is a white and yellow Tremper male. When we first got him, I mean, he was stunning. He's still really cool, but over the years, you start to breed them, and they lose a little bit of that vibrance. But still awesome, and he's been paired this year, so he will hopefully have some nice babies. So we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through, and I'm sure some people will get a kick out of this. You guys will see me handling the males in ways a little bit differently than I do the females. And again, this is my own personal experience. Again, there will be people that keep snakes, and I keep some tarantulas just as a hobby. I don't breed or anything, but things that will bite a lot more and are a lot more dangerous, if you will, than a leopard gecko is. And for me personally, I just don't like getting bit by anything. I was really into snakes, pythons and stuff when I was in high school, and I started getting bit a lot, and eventually that was it for me. Getting bit is just not it's not a fun thing for me. It's not enjoyable. I don't like it. I'll actually I'll include a picture here in just a second in this video of what happened to my finger when about 110 gram raptor latched onto it, and honestly for no apparent reason. I still to this day I can't, he was obviously not in a good mood, but my point being is, especially this time of year when it's breeding season, some of my males, and I'm sure this happens with other people too, some of my males their personality gets a little bit off. I don't know if it's the female scent or what it is, but just the other day I was down here cleaning, and one of my males tagged me for no reason. Didn't draw blood or anything, but nonetheless, you'll see me with these males a lot of times, and it's safe. But rather than grabbing them, because I've found, even as gently as I can be, sometimes going in and grabbing them, I don't know if that's kicking in some response for them where they get a little bit aggressive. But so for me, a lot of times, I'll just kind of slide them into my hand, and that honestly has alleviated a lot of the issues with them wanting to tag me when I stick my hand in the enclosure. So again, and the thing is, I don't get that with my females. It's only with the males, and it's by no means is it all of them. But even some that are really mild-tempered, I haven't been able to predict. You know, some of my most mild-tempered Sundays just don't really want to be messed with, and I don't want to get bit. So that's just me. I'm sure that's, you know, funny and ridiculous to some people, but whatever. So this is a white and yellow bell albino that is het for eclipse. He is another one of my favorites for sure, and has been bred to, oh, gotta watch that. Has been bred to quite a few females this year, so hopefully we'll get some babies out of him. I guess I didn't. He's not gonna like this much, but. And, you know, for me, this is a good indication here. You know, whenever I see, you know, worms floating around in a tub like this, that's usually, besides seeing an obese animal, that's usually my first indicator. Whenever I see that there's just worms kind of roaming around in a tub, I will absolutely cut down on the food for that animal for the next week. It's important, especially, you know, well, I should say it's important to me, especially when you are, you know, breeding these for sale and, you know, selling them to other breeders and, you know, other hobbyists and people that want to keep them as pets. It's important to me that they have a good, strong feeding response always, but especially when they go to their new home. You know, you get a lot of new keepers to leopard geckos that understandably get a little bit freaked out if they get a new gecko in the mail and it's not, I keep forgetting to do this, and it's not eating. So always try and keep it where you never want to get the gecko where he or she is super lethargic and, you know, not interested in, you know, eating. You know, we like to keep that feeding response nice and solid, so you know, they just don't get, you know, obese and, you know, indifferent to food being in the enclosure. So and then, you know, in addition, you know, for a good few days before we send them out, we'll actually cut back on the food or pull it out altogether. So, you know, by the time they get to their new home, they're ideally ready to eat a little bit quicker. So this guy, another one of my favorites. I keep saying that they're all my favorites, but this guy is a Max No, white and yellow, possible het bell and eclipse. I have not proven him out yet. I picked this guy up a couple of years ago, and super cool, real healthy guy. So hopefully we get some good babies out of him this year. Oops. So let's see how your mood is today. This is a guy that gets a little sketchy on me sometimes. This This is a radar that we produced a few years ago. So he has produced many awesome babies for us, and as you can see, he detests being in the light, so we won't keep him there too long. Let's see here. Really excited about what this guy might produce based on some of the females we paired him up with this year. Whoops. Super worm on the loose. So this guy is a white and yellow hyperxanthic. So again, he's about 2 years old. He's dulled a little bit. He had super bright yellow and green. And kind of more that green, emerine kind of looking head when we got him. But if his offspring is, if his looks are any indication of what his offspring will be, should be pretty sweet. So we paired him up with a couple of girls this year. Let's see. So this one is a bit of a enigma to me. Haha. I don't mean enigma as in the morph, but I'm just not sure what this is. So it is Eclipse, and it is Tremper. So, my gut tells me just a raptor, though to be honest, I have hatched a lot of raptors over the last 5 or 6 years, and I've never seen one that looked quite like this. I was debating on whether or not it was white and yellow, and it doesn't really jump out to me that it is. It's probably just a really unique looking raptor, and who knows, maybe somebody would argue that it's not that unique, but I've just never seen it with almost like those cheetah spots like that. Usually the raptors that we produce here are pretty well patternless. They're a bright yellow or tangerine kind of color. So we'll see. Remains to be seen. We're gonna have to do some work with him to see what's up with him. And this is another guy that gets a little sketchy. So we'll be careful with him because he's got a head like a pit bull, and he has been agitated on a few occasions. So this guy is another one that's really special to me. I mean, he is just awesome. That is a Gecko Genetics blood cross Tangerine. Picked him up from John at Gecko Boa. It was either last year or the year before, and he has done just great work breeding for us so far. Again, you know, have him paired up to a couple of ladies this year, so we'll actually see one of his sons from last year. It looks a little bit different because we did a bit of a different cross, but nonetheless very cool. Just like I said in the last video, some of the favorite ones, I go to do the videos and they're thinking something else. They're thinking it's time to shed. So this guy is actually a Maxino white and yellow bell. A lot more yellow on this guy. He's significantly older than the first one that I showed you. This one came from my buddy John as well. And this guy, it's just, I love this gecko. It's just super cool. He's another one that's been paired to quite a few different, very unique female geckos this year, so hopefully that'll produce some neat stuff. So guys, this is the huge male raptor that I talked about earlier and showed that bit me. You can see his head that's a good sized guy, and you know, the size of his head and his mouth against my pinky finger, it was no question who was going to win that battle. So he's seeming like he's okay today. You know, he's never tried to bite me since then. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys. So this guy, oh, so this guy is just so unique, I think. I mean, he's a Max Snow, and it's, you know, possible white and yellow. And, you know, my reason for thinking that, aside from what he looked like when he came out as a hatchling, he's just covered in paradox spots. He's got them all over his face. If you can see orange there, now as he's getting a little older, so they're dulling out. Big paradox spot by his back leg there. One right in the middle of his back as well. But we actually produced him a couple of years ago, and have not paired him up just, well, we hadn't until this season. So we did pair him up this season, and hopefully we can prove that white and yellow out, see if he really is or not. For your benefit, guys, I'm probably going to cut down on the cleaning, do a little editing here in post, and just show you guys some more geckos, so you don't have to sit here and watch me clean for the next 30 minutes or so. So in just a second, we'll just take a look at so give me just a second, and we'll just take a look at some more geckos. So this dude is an atomic Tremper. Just picked him up in 2015 and bred him to the Solar Raptor female that I think I showed you guys in the last video. But man, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Hopefully you can. He's just awesome. So this guy, again, you know, he's kind of lost a little bit of luster with his age, but this is a Max Snow Bell that we produced a couple of years ago that when he hatched out, I mean, he's definitely one of the most unique, just his pattern is really cool. One of the most unique, just straight up Max Snow Bells that we produced. So he usually gets paired up, you know, with at least one female every season, just to try and reproduce some of that cool patterning. So this guy looks like he might start going into shed here soon. This is my Firebolt male that again just snagged him last year. He has been paired up with a Firebolt female that I picked up that is just, they're both just killer. I love them. I really don't do too much, actually nothing with bold or bold stripe or any of that stuff. Just because, like I talked about, you know, I got to draw a line somewhere. I don't want to, you know, try and work with everything. So this is actually the first, you know, bold type of animal that I've worked with. So hopefully that pairing turns out cool. I don't see really how it couldn't. So this, guys, is a universe. Kind of like the females that I showed you in the last one. This one actually has practically no pattern. I doubt you guys will be able to see it, but there are just the faintest little black spots scattered along his back that you can hardly see. We've produced some universes that have minimal pattern, where you can actually still see kind of those trace specks from the total eclipse. But this one in particular has, I mean, it's pretty much all white. I mean, he almost looks like a super raptor. So this guy is another one that was just crazy last year as a baby when we hatched him out. He's definitely a white and yellow, no doubt about it. I have my doubts as to whether or not he's Max Snow. There are little trace elements that kind of remind me of some characteristics of the white and yellow Max Snows that we hatched, but there again, with all the color too, like I said, I have my doubts. So either way, he's another one that we've had him paired up this year. So can't wait to see what his babies look like. Here we have of another red stripe male that we produced last year. Definitely a lot more kind of green in color on the sides. This isn't, I have a hard time with these sometimes because they come out and they're, they develop, their colors are so bright, but the way the stripe is, and this is being, kind of picky, with the red stripes, for me, it's a combination of not only great color, but how solid those stripes are all the way to the base of the tail. And with him, you can see it's a little bit broken. I mean, it's there, but I wouldn't say his stripe is to the level of where I would like it to be. So there again, that's just me being kind of picky. So this guy is without a doubt one of my favorites that I produced last year. He is a white and yellow Max Snow Raptor. You can see he's still, pretty faint white head. It's like a faint yellow body, but with the bright orange stripes. I have put him to a few females this year, so should be having more like him, and quite honestly, probably even nicer this season. So looking forward to that. Here's another Total Eclipse. Again, kind of one of those lighter phases, like compared to the larger female that I showed you last time that had the really dense and dark spotting. This guy's definitely a little bit more on the lighter side. There's a white and yellow Tremper that we produced last year that is het for Eclipse. He's another one that was just crazy when he was born. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any other suggestions for us on other videos that you'd like to see, topics about leopard geckos, whatever, just let us know. Like I mentioned, in the next week or so, hopefully I'll be able to get to the hatchling setup video, and we'll get that uploaded for you guys. In the meantime, in the description below, I will list all the different products that we use, from racks, tubs, the meat trays, Vionate, you name it, and I'll put it down there. If there's anything that I happen to miss, by all means, just let us know. Until then, thanks a lot guys for stopping by. Take care.